Hey, this is Chris with Rekkid Talk. So it's a coffee kind of afternoon. And so I'm doing another one of my first video episodes. And the hint from last week was Robert's on my turntable. Yes, I know I'm showing the Steve Carlson uh, merch here. But Robert is the guy who always drinks coffee as sort of his, that's kind of like his catchphrase, his thing. And so I picked the band Be Bop Deluxe. So Be Bop Deluxe was a band from the 1970s. They were kind of considered to be sort of a prog rock, art rock band. Um, and I'll be honest, I never heard of them until a couple of years ago. And I had never investigated any of their catalog until making this video. Um, if I've heard any of their music before, I really don't remember it. I wouldn't have been able to have named a song. Sorry, but that's like the truth. And you always, and when people do talk about them, they always kind of talk about them being underrated and sort of flying under the radar. And I heard about them a couple years ago because Pete Pardo likes them. He talks about them on Sea of Tranquility. He did ranking the albums of Be Bop Deluxe. And in fact, the record that I picked was the one that Pete liked the best. This is the Sunburst Finish album from 1976. I just streamed it. I don't own this particular record. All Music also liked it the best. I know Robert has talked about this group before. I'll probably stick in a link to Robert talking about it down below. So as I said, they're kind of an artsy prog rock band, although some of their material will almost sound sort of new wavy as well, because there will be some synthesizers involved. This was the production debut of John Leckie, who I would know more for working with bands like XTC and Stone Roses and Radiohead. This was recorded at Abbey Road. Leckie had kind of risen the ranks at Abbey Road, and this was the first time that he was the full-on producer. The main guy in Be Bop Deluxe is a guy named Bill Nelson. He's the vocalist, he's the guitar player, he's the songwriter. The band's really his baby. This album also featured the late Charlie Tumahai on bass guitar backing vocals. He was a Maori from New Zealand who did pass away young. He was less than 50. Simon Fox on drums, Andy Clark on keyboards and synths. And so let's talk about Be Bop Deluxe, um, Sunburst Finish. So we kind of start off. The first song's called Fair Exchange, decent hard rock. I tend to want something a little bit grittier and edgier than this, and this is well produced music. These guys are excellent players. But I always want something a little bit edgier. I kind of put in my notes sort of Queenish, but not as good. So I could see some parallels with Queen. I don't think Nelson is the charismatic frontman that Freddie Mercury obviously was. Second song, Heavenly Homes, is a little bit mellower of a song. You get some piano. There is some tempo change later on. You get some guitar solos. There's always tasty guitar soloing. I noticed that throughout the album. The third song was Ships in the Night, which was the single, was a minor hit in the UK, reaching like number 23. I found the keyboards and guitars pretty nice. The lyrics kind of forgettable. They don't really seem to have like catchy riffs or catchy lyrics. The saxophone in the song I didn't really care for that much. Sometimes it sounds proggy, other times it's sort of harkening to, you could kind of call it proto new wave. Calling a band proto something is always kind of cheesy in and of itself. Crying to the Sky was another mellower song. Part of it seemed a little bit Styxy to me, but a bit artier. I think Be Bop Deluxe had a little bit too much of an artsy feel to really appeal to the U.S. rock crowd. They're not going to appeal to Midwestern guys the way Styx did. The prog's a little bit more obvious than it was with a band like Styx. Sleep That Burns, the last song on the first side, it was probably my favorite song on the album. about 5.5 minutes, but it has kind of an epic feel without being too long. There's a dreamy part in the middle. Um, that I think that was for me that was the strongest song on the album. Ships in the Night was pretty good as well. I wasn't as much into the second side, so you've got Beauty Secrets with some artsy lyrics, a little bit Roxy music esque, which I know they sometimes get compared to. That's not going to do it for Meat and Potatoes American rock fans, even though I wouldn't put myself in that group. And then you've got Life in the New Age with some strings and piano at the start. Like an Old Blues is a little bit more of a bluesy rock song. Crystal Gazing, another slower tempo proggy song. Blazing Apostles on the last song on the album, probably my favorite on the second side. So again, they're putting their best material towards the back. I'm not sure you're supposed to do that. Or maybe I just have weird taste. It's another skillfully played song. Probably my favorite guitar solo record on it. So I was happy to listen to Be Bop Deluxe. As I said, I'd heard about them. I never really knew much about them. I was kind of hoping to like them a little bit more than I ended up liking them. And remember that this is based upon a single listen, so I haven't given the album a chance to grow on me. And you might tell me that maybe I picked the wrong album again, like with Blue Oyster Cult. Although I think I like these guys more than I like Blue Oyster Cult, who I did about a month ago. And so the hint for next week is going to be Sir James Winston, Ono, Boney, Sinatra, Lenny White, Lennon. And I'm going to take this coin. We got heads, we got tails. I'm going to toss the coin. Heads, it's Frank Sinatra. Tails, it's Yoko Ono. And let's see what we got.